Hey, and welcome to this episode of the Hustle Report by Profit Duel. Today, we are undertaking a pretty critical deep dive into one of the most, well, powerful and fundamentally flexible side hustles out there, using your coding skills to build an extra revenue stream, a lucrative one, potentially. Our mission really is to cut through the noise, distill the essential knowledge from recent analyses about how developers are, moving past that 9 to 5 mindset, how they're turning technical passion into real profit.
Yeah, it's a great topic because coding isn't just like a strong skill set anymore. It's immediate leverage. When you apply it right as a side hustle, it sort of bypasses many of the usual barriers you see with other ventures.
How so?
Well, you're basically trading an existing high-value thing, your expertise, for direct financial return.
Yeah.
And you get total control over what you produce, that freedom,
Mm.
choosing projects, setting your own boundaries. That immediately sets it apart.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. For someone maybe thinking about starting like tonight, what does a coding side hustle actually look like, especially if they're juggling a full-time job?
Right. So essentially, it just means using your skills outside your main job,
Yeah.
but crucially, on your own terms. This could be anything, really. Developing custom web apps for small businesses, maybe creating a niche mobile utility app, building custom software integrations.
Or even consulting.
Exactly. Offering specialized consulting in, say, Python or Go or whatever your niche is. The key thing, the defining feature, is the autonomy. You're the CEO of your own skill set, basically. You choose the problems you want to tackle and, just as importantly, when you tackle them.
That autonomy, that feels like the first big reward we uncovered, the flexibility piece. That's what makes it work for so many people, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
for the listener who needs to fit work around family or travel or whatever else life throws at them, being able to work at your own pace, that's pretty priceless.
It really is. It allows for immediate lifestyle integration, which is quite different from hustles needing fixed shifts or managing inventory. But beyond the obvious, the extra cash, which is great, there's a longer-term professional reward people often overlook.
What's that?
Accelerated skill enhancement. Seriously.
Tell me more about that. How is doing a side project, say, better for skill growth than just focusing on your main job?
Well, because a side hustle often forces you to be more well-rounded. In your day job, you might be stuck supporting old legacy systems or maybe working on just one specific part of the tech stack. But when you take on diverse external projects, you're forced to learn new frameworks, deal with different client setups, troubleshoot problems all on your own.
Ah, okay. So you gain experience that broadens your market value much faster than maybe a typical structured job would allow.
Precisely.
Hmm.
You get proficient in the newer, often high-demand areas. You have to.
So if I start, say, building small React apps for local shops, I'm essentially getting paid to learn a skill that makes me more valuable later, whether I stick with freelancing or aim for a different full-time role down the line.
You got it. It's like leveling up, but with a paycheck attached.
That's a powerful combo.
And that naturally leads into the networking side of things, which can be huge. Every successful project, every happy client, that's a new connection. You might link up with collaborators, get leads for bigger projects, build a reputation outside your current company bubble.
Okay, but let's be real. What's the catch? There's always a catch, right? Before we even talk about the money potential, we need that reality check.
Yeah.
What are the unavoidable challenges? The things our analysis warned prospective hustlers about. Every great earning opportunity has a hidden cost.
Absolutely. And the cost almost universally seems to center around time and mental bandwidth. The number one potential drawback, the sheer time commitment needed. Seriously.
How much time are we talking?
Well, some analysis suggests it's often 15, maybe even 25 hours per week on top of a full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah. That's not sustainable for everyone.
Yeah.
It really is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to pace yourself.
Which directly hits work-life balance, doesn't it? If you're pouring that much extra time into coding projects, evenings, weekends, you're pulling that from somewhere. Balancing that hustle with family, friends, just basic rest. Yeah, that can lead to burnout fast if you're not like ruthlessly managing your schedule.
Exactly. And that leads right into another biggie, client management.
Yes. Dealing with clients.
Yeah. One piece of analysis we saw noted that for many, the biggest hurdle wasn't even the coding itself. It was learning how to communicate effectively, especially with non-technical clients. And crucially, learning when and how to say no.
That sounds like a definite pain point. What's the specific issue that trips up new freelancers the most there?
It's often the dreaded scope creep.
Yeah.
Explain that quickly.
Scope creep is basically when a client keeps asking for little additions or changes, things that weren't in the original plan. Each one seems small,
but they add up fast.
They devour your hours, yeah.
Yeah.
A really good tip we saw was to always clearly define, say, 3 key unchangeable deliverables in your initial contract or agreement.
Then, if the client asks for something outside those 3, you treat it as a new request, a separate billable microproject.
That's a fantastic, really practical tip. Okay, so managing time, managing clients. You mentioned the marathon aspect earlier. This field changes so quickly, too.
It absolutely does. Continuous learning isn't just recommended, it's non-negotiable. If you stop keeping up with the latest framework updates, new security protocols, popular libraries, your skills get stale fast.
And doing that, continuously studying, practicing, adapting alongside a full-time job and client projects, that sounds incredibly demanding.
It is. It requires real discipline.
And hang on, before we get to the money side,
Yeah.
there's another friction point, right? The dream is coding and earning, but how much time do new freelancers actually spend just looking for work versus doing the work?
That's a really important question, and it ties into the variable income issue, especially early on, initially. You might honestly spend 40% of your hustle time just on marketing, writing proposals, doing virtual interviews, networking, whatever it takes to land gigs. Only 60% might be actual coding.
So the income isn't steady at first.
Not usually, no.
Yeah.
Consistency comes later, once you've built a reputation and maybe have a referral stream going. That initial time spent hunting for work is a major hidden cost people forget.
Okay, let's pivot to the money now, having set those expectations. While the income can be variable, the potential ceiling looks pretty high. We saw data, like from Upwork surveys, showing average hourly rates for freelance web developers ranging from maybe $20 an hour on the low end,
Right, for basic stuff.
all the way up to $150 per hour, or even more. That's a huge spectrum.
It is. And that gap, that $20 versus $150 plus, that's often the difference between, say, customizing basic WordPress themes versus offering highly specialized, really in-demand technical consulting or development. Your rate depends heavily on your experience level, sure, but also your location, and critically, the complexity of the problem you're solving for the client.
So how does someone listening strategically move towards that higher end, that $150 plus range? What did we learn about specializing?
Well, the top rates are definitely commanded by specific, up-to-date knowledge. We're talking real expertise in high-demand front-end frameworks like React or Vue maybe, or deep skills in cloud infrastructure, AWS, Azure, that kind of thing. Or, increasingly, knowing how to integrate specialized AI tools effectively.
So it's not just selling code.
No, not at the high end. You're selling solutions. Solutions that scale businesses or automate complex processes, those niche, high-impact applications. That's where the real premium is.
That reframes it nicely. Okay, so we know the potential rewards, we understand the real challenges, and we see the money is tied to specialization. The big question now is, how do you actually start? Let's transition into that practical guide, the 6 essential steps we identified to successfully launch and scale this coding side hustle. All right, steps 1 and 2 seem to be all about smart preparation. Step 1, identify your niche. Basically, don't try to be everything to everyone. Pick a specific, high-value area you want to focus on. Is it iOS app development only? Is it back-end database optimization?
Right. The narrower your initial focus, the easier it is to position yourself as an expert.
Makes sense. It reduces competition, too, presumably.
It definitely can. And it helps justify higher rates sooner, which leads directly to step 2. Enhance those specialized skills continuously. You need a structured way to keep learning. Our analysis pointed to some great external resources you can use. Platforms like Codecademy, FreeCodeCamp, Udemy. They offer structured paths.
But it's not just about doing courses, right?
No, definitely not. The key is to build something tangible with that new knowledge right away. Apply it. That's how it sticks. And that's what builds your portfolio.
Okay, moving into actually doing it. Step 3 sounds critical. Build a portfolio.
Absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
You can't just list skills on a resume or profile. Clients need proof you can actually deliver. This means things like public code repositories like on GitHub, case studies of projects you've completed, even personal projects count here, showing the problems you solved and the solutions you built.
That portfolio is basically your main sales tool.
It's probably the single most important asset for attracting good clients, yeah. Once you have that, step 4 is about getting visible. Join freelancing platforms. But here you need to be strategic. There are different kinds of platforms. You've got the big general ones like Upwork and Freelancer.
Good for starting out.
Yeah, great for finding those first few gigs, getting some experience, getting reviews, but you have to be really careful to filter out the low-paying offers. There are a lot of them.
Okay. And the other type.
Then you have the more vetted premium platforms. Think TopTal, maybe others. They usually have tougher screening processes to get in.
But the pay is better.
Significantly higher rates, typically. They cater to clients looking for proven, often senior-level talent. Knowing which platform type fits your goals and current level really dictates your potential earnings.
That's really vital context. Okay, so you're on a platform, maybe getting some work. Steps 5 and 6 are about sustainable growth, moving beyond just relying on those platforms, right?
Yeah.
Step 5, network and collaborate. You got to actively expand your reach.
Yes. This means things like attending coding meetups, virtual ones count too, joining online communities, specialized Slack channels, forums, wherever developers in your niche hang out, and be open to collaborating with other developers. Sometimes teaming up on a project is a great way to learn and get exposure.
Because the best opportunities often come through people you know.
Exactly. High-quality leads to really interesting projects. They rarely come just from cold platform listings. They often come through referrals and personal connections.
Which brings us to the final step, step 6, market yourself effectively.
Right. And this is more than just having like a basic personal website. Your online presence, your site, your LinkedIn, maybe even social media needs to clearly communicate how your technical skills solve business problems.
So less I code in JavaScript.
And more. I build automated internal tools using JavaScript that helped Company X cut their administrative time by 15%. See the difference?
Yeah, focus on the value delivered.
Exactly. Use case studies, testimonials if you can get them. Showcase the impact of your work, not just the code itself. That's how you attract clients willing to pay premium rates.
So wrapping this all up, what does this mean for you, the listener? Well, coding as a side hustle. It's clearly one of the most direct paths to turning a specialized skill into a potentially really lucrative, consistent revenue stream. It offers huge creative expression, real professional growth. But, and it's a big but, success really hinges on your ability to manage that intense time commitment and, crucially, to embrace that steep, continuous learning curve.
Yeah, and that brings up a really powerful final thought for you to maybe chew on. Given how fast technology changes, I mean, AI integration, new frameworks popping up constantly, and given the demanding time needed just to keep pace, how do you, as a side hustler, strategically choose which specialized skills or niche technologies are genuinely worth that long-term investment of your precious time? That choice, between chasing the latest shiny trend versus mastering something truly foundational, that decision could ultimately define how long you last and how profitable you are in this hustle. It's something to really think about.
That's a great, provocative question to end on. And hey, remember, if coding doesn't quite align with your passions or skills, there are plenty of other great hustles out there. We've explored a bunch in our content, things like matched betting, affiliate marketing, selling digital products, even online tutoring. Lots of options. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.